Mdalo sezulwini siza kuwe namhlanje sizoletha udumo nokubonga kwena.
We thank you for what you have done and are doing for your people.
Sibonga okwenzayo nokwenzile ngabantu bakho.
We pray for the meetings that are currently taking place all across the world.
Sikhulekela imihlangano ehlanganayo emhlaba wonke Nkosi yami.
And ask that our hearts may be drawn together in unity.
Sikhulekela ukuthi inhliziyo zethu zisondelane nje kube nobumbano.
Correct our errors and misunderstandings,
Lungisa amaphutha wethu nala singazwisisi khona.
but do this in mercy, lest thou bring us to nothing.
Ela ukwenze lokhu ngomusa singazishabalali.
We ask for the Holy Spirit and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Sicela ngomoya oyingcwele siyacela ngoJesu. Amen.
Well, thank you for inviting me to your ministry.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi ningimeme ke ku ministry yenu.
As I look down the list of names, I don't think I know any of you.
Mangibuka amagama angiboni ukuthi ngiyanazi ubuningi benu.
So I really look forward to becoming better acquainted.
Ngiyafisa ukuthi ngixhumane kabanzi nani.
I'm going to use my device today instead of the whiteboard.
Ngizosebenzisa ke i-device yami namhlanje kunokuthi ngisebenzise i-whiteboard.
It can, sorry, so I'll just, share screen. And hopefully it won't play up on us. So can you see my share screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just review where this Sunday Law message started from.
Masibheke ke ukuthi umlayezo lo weSunday lo uqale kuphi?
From Acts 27.
Siya masibuka ke incwadi ka Acts 27.
We note that Acts 27:27 is the midnight cry.
Sisabona ke ukuthi incwadi yezenzo 27:27 yokukhala kwasebusuku.
And between that midnight cry and the shipwreck,
Phakathi kokukhala kwasebusuku ke nokuphahlaka komkhumbi.
we get the number 273
Sithola ke inani leli kuthiwa u273.
in Acts 27:37.
Mawuya ke encwadini ka Acts 27 no verse 37.
And that number becomes a symbol.
Le number leyo ke iba umfanekiso thize.
We note that Acts 27:27 is marked at Panium.
Siyazi ke ukuthi Acts 27 verse 27 ke ovela lapha yana uPanium.
But also the Battle of Beneventum.
Ivele ukuthi futhi naku Battle of Beneventum.
Which takes us to 275 BC.
Esambisa ku 275 BC.
In 273 BC,
Bese ke ngo 273 BC.
Egypt sends a delegation of ambassadors to Rome.
Egypt ke ihambisa abantu thizeni abazoyimela ke eRome.
And the shipwreck of Acts 27 is marked as Sunday Law.
Ukuhlakazeka komkhumbi ke sikubona ke ngeSunday Law.
Which is also 272 BC.
Nayo ke exhumana noma ehamba no 272 ke ngo BC.
Where Rome sent a return delegation of ambassadors to Egypt.
lapho ke iRome ithatha abantu abazoyimela naye babuyisela ngale eGibhithe.
This delegation of ambassadors is headed by Quintus Fabius Maximus Gurgis.
Labantu ke abathunyiwe ukuthi bahomela ke bavela ke njengo Quintus Fabius Marcus kwangikhasi la magama esewashilo.
Maximus Gurgis, we understand to mean maximum flood,
Maximum justice lena kushiwo ukuthi ke ikhukhula eyinkulu,
which is a symbol for Sunday law.
efanekiswa ke ne-Sunday law.
Fabius is a bean farmer.
UFabius ke ilona ke otshala ke amabhini.
From the faba bean.
Usuka kulelo lizwe ke lamaFabe.
A symbol of voting or the electoral process.
Okufanekiswa ke nokuvota ke noma ukhetho.
And Quintus is the 5th month or July.
Inyanga yesihlanu ke kaJuly ke uQuintus la simbona khona.
And it was called July after Julius Caesar.
Yabizwa ke ngoJuly ngemva kaJulius Caesar.
Who was the first dictator of Rome.
Okuyena ke bayidictator lapha eRome.
And is derived from the Punic word for elephants.
Isuka ke egameni elikhulu ke leindlovu.
And elephants are a symbol of the Republican Party.
Indlovu ke zichaza noma zifanekisa ke Republican Party.
And we also use elephants as a symbol for disinformation.
Sibuye sisebenzisa indlovu njengomfanekiso wolwazi okungeyilona.
Which was the new mode of warfare at the time of the end.
Bekuyindlela yokulwa ke ngesikhathi sokuphela ngaleso sikhathi.
So when we consider July in 2024,
Masibuka ke kuJuly ngo-2024.
There were a number of significant events.
Bekunezehlakalo eziningi ke singazibuka.
July 1 was the Supreme Court decision.
NgoJuly 1 ke inkantolo enkulu ke beyenza ke isinqumo.
On presidential immunity.
Ukuthi ke umongameli akakwazi ukuthi abeyedwa azenzele ngokuthanda kwakhe.
Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
Justice Sonia Sotomayor
wrote the dissent.
Wabhala ke ngalendlela elandelayo.
And she warned that this decision would make the president king above the law.
Waxwayisa ke ukuthi ke lesinqumo soyenza ukuthi umongameli abe ngaphezu komthetho noma abe inkosi.
It would allow presidents to exploit their official powers.
Beyizoyenza ukuthi babe ngaphezu kwamandla bawasebenzise nje ngendlela ethandwa yibona.
Without fear of any legal consequences.
Engasabi ukuthi ke ozojeziswa ngokusemthethweni.
On July 13,
nge-13 zikaJuly,
we have the assassination attempt of Donald Trump.
Siba ke nokuzama ukubulawa ke komongameli uDonald Trump.
And this turned Trump from Cyrus the deliverer
Yamshintsha ke uTrump ekubeni uCyrus umkhululi
to the messianic deliverer.
Waba ke umkhululi ke onganazwelo.
it turned him into a god.
or yamshintsha yamenza uNkulunkulu, yamphakamisa yamisa phezulu.
But I want to note July 15 to 18.
Ufuna ke sibuye kakhulu ke ngomhla ka-15 kuya ku-18 kaJulayi,
which was the Republican National Convention.
bekuyi-Republican National Convention ukuxhumana kwawo.
On the 15th,
Ngazo ke i-15
the Republican Party unveiled its party platform.
i-Republican Party ke yasuka ke esihlalweni sayo.
The title of this party platform
Isihloko ke sale party platform lena,
so this is its official title,
isihloko sayo ke na esisemthethweni lesi
is 2024 GOP platform
sibizwa ngokuthi 2024 GOP platform.
Make America Great Again.
Sithathe iAmerica siyenze ibe nkulu futhi.
This title reflected the continued emphasis on President Trump's slogan.
Besiphakamisa ke isihloko kakhulu lesi sikaMongameli uDonald Trump.
His slogan of Make America Great Again.
Lesihloko sakhe asithandayo sokuthi mayenze ibe nkulu iAmerica futhi.
And this signaled the alignment of the party with Donald Trump's agenda and vision.
Ibonise lento ukuxhumana kweparty nokuhambisana nemibono kaDonald Trump.
So on the 15th, the Republican Party aligned with Trump's agenda and vision.
Nge-15 ke kwaxhumana ke uTrump ke nehambiso zakhe ke.
This platform outlined 20 core promises.
Kwaba ke ney'thembiso ke eziwu-24 ezazibukiwe lana.
That include the sealing of the border, ending inflation.
Lana ke kwathi kuzokhandwa ke ibonde elikhulu kuqedwa ke kanye nokuphakama kweminotho.
And making America the dominant energy producer.
Yase ke izwenza ukuthi iAmerica kube yona ke letha ke ezombani ke nezomkhakha omkhulu.
Also on the 15th,
Futhi masiphinda ke nge-15
the party announced its vice presidential candidate.
Iphathi ke yaveza ke na ke umongameli ozoqoshwa noma ke olandulela ukuqoshwa.
J.D. Vance.
uJD Vance.
Vance is widely recognized as the leading figure and representative of MAGA.
uVance ke uvela ke njengommeli noma omela ke iVega.
So initially he was a critic of Donald Trump.
Ala ke wayengamelani, wayephikisana noDonald Trump.
He was a never Trumper.
Bengahambisani inhlobo noTrump.
But he shifted his stance to become a staunch supporter.
Kodwa uye washintsha ke la bekame khona ke wasexhasa uTrump.
And he embodied the values of MAGA.
Wase ke ehambisana ke nokuphakamiswa yiMega noma abakumele laba bakaMega.
On foreign policy,
Ngamapolisi ke engasiya wasendaweni.
He advocated non-interventionist approach. So don't intervene.
wasekeveza ukuthi maningangeneleli ey'ndabeni zalana ningazami nokwenza lokho.
He had judicial views
Bhekani imibono-ke indlela noma inkantolo ezibona ngayo
that the courts should not intervene on the president's agenda.
ukuthi-ke inkantolo mazingangeneleli okwenziwa umongameli.
He believed in strong presidential authority.
Bekakholelwa ukuthi-ke umongameli uyena ophatha-ke kakhulu ngesidluzu la.
And then on cultural and economic issues,
Masiza-ke kwezamasiko-ke kanye nezemnotho.
he prioritized American workers
Uye waphakamisa-ke abasebenzi baseMelika
and conservative cultural values.
kanye-ke namasiko-ke aqinisile noma abukisisa izenzo noma ukwenziwa kakudala.
So he aligned with the MAGA's populist and nationalist thinking.
Wayesehambisana-ke noMagus-ke indlela yakhe yokucabanga-ke evele ebantwini abaningi.
He's strongly seen as the heir to the movement.
Ubonakala-ke njengelunga elibalulekile ku-movement le yakhona.
So he not only represented the MAGA movement,
Masimboni nje kuphela eveza ku-mega movement,
but as vice president, he has set himself up to influence its direction for many years.
kodwa njengesekela likamongameli-ke uwenza umela noma inkambiso yakhona yonke.
So then we also note on the 18th of July,
Bese-ke sibuka-ke nange-18 zikaJulayi
that Donald Trump is the official nomination for presidential candidate.
sibona-ke uDonald Trump kuyena-ke oqokwayo noma omele ukuthi aqokwe njengomongameli.
And so we mark, or it has been suggested that July 18 is the date for Sunday law, National Sunday Law.
Sibona ke kwathiwa ukuthi ilanga lelange-18 ke kwaliqokwa lona njenge-Sunday law yazwelonke.
But I don't want us to lose the significance of July 15.
Angifuni silahlekelwe ukubaluleka esikutholayo kuJuly 15 ke.
That Republican convention ran for 4 days.
Ukuthi ke i-Republican convention iyagijima noma ihamba ke insuku ezine.
And the 15th was a significant day.
Ke nge-15 ke bekuyilanga lisemqoka kakhulu.
When MAGA was introduced, when MAGA was fully embodied into the Republican Party.
Masibona uMega seyengenelele ngokuphelele ke ku-Republican Party.
Not only through its party platform, but also through J.D. Vance.
Hayi nje kuphela ngokuthi angenelele phakathi kodwa sibona ixhumana no-J.D. Vance.
So with that in mind, let's come to 2025.
Masinaloko emqondweni ke masisondele size ku-2025.
2025, February
Masibuka 2025 ke
14.
nge-14 zikaFebruary.
And the Munich Security Conference.
Masibuka ke i-Munich Security Conference.
So this is one of the world's leading forums on international security.
Kuyo ezinye zesihamba phambili masibuka ke emkhakha yama-security akhona.
It was founded in 1963
Yasungulwa ke ngo-1963
by a former German army officer.
Ngomunye ke wayephethe ibutho ke lase-Germany.
This officer had been one of the participants in the 1944 plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler.
Lona ke osebuthweni wayemkhulu ke wazama ukuthi ashabalalise ke uHitler omdala.
It's always been held in the same hotel in Munich.
Uthi abanjelwa kuyo ihotel unique le yakhona.
Historically, it's focused on European security.
Masibuka umlando ke bagxile ku-security ke yase-Europe.
But in more recent years, it has become more global.
Eminyakeni eyandula noma engekho kude ke iye yasabalala umhlaba wonke.
And has invited different voices from around the world.
Yasimema ke amazwe amaningi ke emhlabeni jikelele.
So in the past, European leaders would come to this conference.
Ngaphambili ke besibona ke ukuthi abaholi bebaza bazohlanganyela emhlanganweni.
And they'd be discussing the problems of the Middle East and Africa and other world places.
Bebekhuluma ke ngeenkinga ze-Afrika nase-Middle East nakwezinye indawo emhlabeni.
But since 2022, the focus has been on Ukraine.
Kodwa kusukela ngo-2022 ke kwagxilwa ku-Ukraine.
So if you're familiar with the World Economic Forum at Davos,
Mangabe ujwayele ke le sisho sithi umhlaba jikelele Economic Forum,
where leaders come from all over the world to discuss economics, foreign policy concerning economics.
lana abaholi bonke bomhlaba jikelele bahlangana bazokhuluma ngezomnotho ezixhumana nomhlaba wonke.
This is like Davos, only it's on security policy.
Sibona ke kuhambiswana ke namapolicy ke wezokuvikela.
It's about defense.
Kuhamba ke nokuvikela ke kakhulu.
So what would happen in the past?
Okwenzakalayo noma okwenzakala mandulo.
Is Russians participated every year.
Sibona ama-Russia ke yangenelela ke iminyaka yonke ilandelana.
So men like Sergei Lavrov, the Russian Minister for Foreign Affairs.
WaseRussia uminister ke wayephethe ke i-Foreign Affairs.
He would come to this conference and speak.
Bekeza kule conference bese yakhuluma.
And he would book a room in the hotel.
Beyazobhuka ke igumbi ke ehotela.
And hold loads of bilateral meetings.
Bese ke abe nemhlangano ehlukahlukene.
And then other ministers and leaders would book 15-minute slots with him.
Abanye ke abaphethe ke imkhakha ehlukene ke bazocela imihlangano mhlambe yemzuzu ke u-15.
And other ministers and heads of state would be doing that as well.
Nabanye ke abaphethe ke ezinye amanye amazwe bazoyenza kanjalo bacela umhlangano naye.
Lots and lots of discussions going on over the days of the conference.
Bekuba ney'ngxoxo ey'ningi ke ngalezo y'khathi lezo la kuba nama-conference khona.
And the Iranian foreign minister would be there as well.
Umongameli noma lo wayephethe ke foreign ministry wayeba khona naye futhi.
But that doesn't exist anymore.
Akusenzeki lokho kodwa khona manje.
In 2022, the Russians didn't turn up.
Ngo-2022 asibabonanga bavedelela ke abaseRussia.
The conference was held before the invasion of Ukraine.
I-conference yabanjwa ke ngaphambi kokuba ingenelelwe noma ingenelwe i-Ukraine.
And so now we know why they didn't turn up.
Siyazi ke ukuthi kungani bangazange bavelelele manje.
And since then, they haven't been invited back.
Siyazi ukuthi kungani futhi bangazange bamenywe futhi.
The Iranians haven't been invited back either.
Nalabo base-Uranian azange babeme nabo ngokunjalo.
It's become more of a forum for like-minded people.
Ivese ibe yinto engaziwa ke masibona imiqondo ehlanganayo noma ehambisanayo.
But there have been some significant conferences in the past which are worth noting.
Kodwa ke kunama-conference abalulekile ke kumele siwanakisise.
In 2007, Putin gave what is called his Munich speech.
uPutin ke waphana ke ngo-2022 into esiyibiza ke nge-Munich speech.
And this was considered a landmark speech.
Ke kwathiwa ke landmark speech lena.
A turning point.
Ukushintsha ke okukhulu.
In post-Cold War international relations.
Mase kudlule ke Cold War ke ukuxhumana kwezwe lonke noma umhlaba wonke jikelele.
He criticized US global dominance.
Wagxeka ke ukuxhumana ke kwe-US ngokuhlangana kwabo.
He strongly condemned what he described as a unipolar world.
Wagxeka ke yena beyakuveza njengobumbano lomhlaba.
That was led by the United States.
Obekuholwa United States.
He said this is destabilizing and unjust.
Bekathi lokhu kuyaphazamisa futhi akulungile.
He criticized NATO expansion.
Wagxeka futhi ke nokukhula kwe-NATO.
Because he opposed NATO moving further east, expanding eastward.
Beyangafisa ukuthi i-NATO iqhubekele isondele ngaku-east.
He said this is threatening Russia's national security.
Wathi ke izoba nomthelela ke ekuvikelekeni kwe-Russia.
And breaking promises that it was never going to do that.
Waphuleka nethembiso zokuthi ngeke ikwazi ukwenza lokho.
He criticized US foreign policy.
Wagxeka ke umano ke noma ke okwasingaphandle kwe-US.
That the US was overstepping its borders.
Ukuthi i-US ke bengenelela kakhulu.
Bypassing international laws.
Iyeqa ke imithetho ke yamazwe ngamazwe.
And using force unilaterally.
Bese ke isebenzisa udlame ke
He
oluvela
raised
kwindawo.
arms control concerns.
Waletha ke ibamu ke nokuthi abantu ke balwe.
Because of the US missile system.
Ngenxa ke yokwenza noma indlela yokwenza ke yase-US.
That it had placed in Eastern Europe.
Yeah ke kuba yona replace ke lapha in Eastern Europe.
He said that that's going to reignite an arms race.
Wathi ke kuzoletha ukulwa ke kuleya ndawo.
And he called for multipolarity.
Wase ke ebiza ke ubumbano nokuxhumana komhlaba.
He wanted a new international system based on multipolarity.
Wayesefuna ke ukwenza okusha ke okubizwa ke ngokuxhumana ke kwezizwe ezihlukene.
He wanted respect for sovereignty
Wayefuna ukuthi kuhlonishwe ubukhulu bakhe
and a strengthening of international law.
nokuqiniswa kwemthetho ixhumanisa imihlaba.
This speech stunned the Western leaders.
Lokho azange bajabulise ke abaholi ke base-West.
And commentators now look back on that speech
Laba ke abafakazayo baye babuke ke ukukhuluma
and
kwakhe
say,
lokhu.
this is where Putin declared war on the West.
Bathi ke yiloko lokho kwenza ukuthi uPutin alethe ukulwa ke ngase-West.
There was another significant conference in 2014.
Une-conference ebalulekile eyenzeka futhi ngo-2014.
And that was over the Ukraine crisis.
Beyixhumene ke ney'nkinga ezikhona e-Ukraine.
With Russia's invasion of Crimea.
Sibona ke i-Russia ke mayingenelela ke Ukraine.
And how NATO should respond to that invasion.
Nokuthi i-NATO kumele ingenelele kanjani ke kulaba sebakwenzile ke abase-NATO.
And basically nothing came of that.
Ayikho into eyenzeka ke ngaleso sikhathi.
So it's largely believed today
Ngiyakholeka kakhulu namhlanje
that the West failed to see the threat that Putin was giving in 2007.
ukuthi abase-West azange babone ke ubungozi obebuza ke nalabo abaphambene nabo ngo-2007.
That he revealed his intentions, but the West ignored them.
Ukuthi waveza ukuthi yini into kahle into afuna ukuyenza kodwa aba-West azange bafuna ukubona ngoPutin ebeke ufuna ukwenza.
In 2024, on the anniversary of his 2007 speech,
Ngo-2024 ke mase kuhlangana eminyaka ebumbanayo ngalokho ayakukhuluma ngo-2007.
Vladimir Putin assassinated Alexei Navalny.
uVladimir Putin ke wabulala noma zamubulala ke Alexei
This is not a coincidence.
Akusikokuqondana nje.
This is straight out of the Putin playbook.
Yindlela beyadlala ngayo izinto vele lena.
And in previous studies, I have suggested that this marks the death of the King of the South.
Kwifundo ezilandulayo ngiye ngasho ukuthi lokhu kuveza ukufa kwenkosi yaseNingizimu.
Which I won't repeat here.
Ngeke ngisiphinde isifundo sakhona lana.
Although we'll touch on it in a minute.
Kodwa sosithinta kancane nje ngomzuzu.
So we come to 2025.
Siza kulo nyaka siku-2025.
And the theme of this year's conference
Isihloko ke somhlangano ke wakulo nyaka.
Multipolarization.
Ithi ke ukuxhumana ngokukhulu.
This was the theme.
Bekuyisihloko lesi.
So we understand multipolarization is where multiple countries or groups of countries share significant power and influence.
Siyabona ukuthi lana ke amaqembu amaningi womhlaba ke banamandla ke laba abawusherayo.
There's not just one unipolar or two bipolar dominating powers.
Akukho amandla amawodwa kodwa nje bayaxhumana bayabambisana.
That several major countries have important roles
Ukuthi ke kunamazwe ke esikhombisa amakhulu ke anomsebenzi omkhulu
to shape global politics, economics, and security.
ukuthi ke ashintshe ezopolitiko kanye nezinye indlela noma eminye imkhakha kubonwa ngayo izinto.
In the lead up to this year's conference,
Ukuza kuzofikelela lana ke kule conference ke yabaholi.
Peter Hegseth, who's the United States Secretary of Defense,
Lona ke wayephethe ke ezokuvikelwa ke lapha e-United States.
he had been at a NATO meeting
Uye waba semhlanganweni wase-NATO.
and he basically told them that Ukraine would never have membership.
Wasesho ke ukuthi i-Ukraine angeke ibe namalunga.
And that the United States would have talks with Russia.
I-United States ke izoba nengxoxo ke ne-Russia.
And Ukraine would have to give up a lot of its territory.
E-Ukraine ke kuzomele iyekelele ke la iphethe khona kakhulu.
And after he said that, he started to walk back some of those comments.
Ngemva sekuthi akushilo lokho wasehoxa kuloko akushilo kokuningi.
So the Europeans were a bit confused about the messages the United States was giving.
Babedidekile ke abase-Ukraine ukuthi kahle kahle i-United States iphana ngamuphi umlayezo.
So they went to Munich, prepared to hear from senior Trump administrators.
Baya ke eMunich bafuna ukuzwa ukuthi ke laba abahambisana no-Trump bazothini.
There would be JD Vance, Marco Rubio,
Bese kuzoba khona ke i-JD Vance ke ne-Marco Rubio.
so the Vice President and the Secretary of State,
Isekela kamongameli kanye nalona ke o-secretary.
and also Keith Kellogg, who's the Ukraine-Russian envoy.
No-Craig Kellogg ke owayebambe ke ezase-Russia.
And the Europeans thought, oh, well, this will all get cleared up.
Base bacabanga base-Ukraine ukuthi kuzolunga konke lokhu.
We're going to understand the US's plan.
Base becabanga ukuthi bazozwisisa ke ukuthi icebo yase-USA yini.
But what they got from JD Vance was something quite different.
Kodwa kuhlukile ke abakuthola ku-Ukraine.
And it sent shockwaves through the audience.
Kwase ke kubathusa kakhulu abebalalele.
There's something called the Munich Rule.
Kunento ebizwa ngokuthi Munich Rule.
And it goes like this. It's engage and interact with each other.
Ivela kanjena ke ukuthi xhumana bese niyahlangana nabanye.
Don't lecture or ignore one another.
Ningashiyani noma niyekelelane nje kanjalo.
So this isn't a law, of course,
Kusemthethweni lokho vele.
but these are like norms that people generally followed.
Kuyinjwayelo noma okwenza kwezinto abantu abazilandelayo lezi.
But if JD Vance was told about this rule, he certainly didn't follow it.
uJD Vance wayetshelwa ke ngale mthetho just yena uyakhetha ukuthi angayilandeli.
Basically, he didn't talk about Russia and he didn't talk at all about Ukraine.
Azange ke akhulume ngeRussia, azange akhulume nhlobo futhi nange-Ukraine.
He talked about democracy
Wakhuluma ngedemocracy.
and he suggested that Europeans should try it.
Wayesesho ukuthi ke abase-Europe kumele bakuzame nabo.
He said things like, democracy isn't just about having nice buildings.
Wayesethi democracy akusukuthi nje nibe nezakhiwo ezinhle.
And he made it clear that what he meant was that Europeans should abandon efforts to fight disinformation.
Wase kwenza caca ukuthi abase-Europe kumele ke balwisane ke nolwazi okungeyilona noma bathole ulwazi kuyilona olunzulu.
He said fighting disinformation is censorship.
Bavezela ukuthi ke ukulwisana ke nolwazi olungaphelele ke kubalekile.
And this violates free speech.
Lokhu ke kuphambana ke nenkululeko yokukhuluma.
That these European leaders should listen more to those who oppose migration.
Uthi ke mabakhulume kakhulu nalaba bangahambisani ke nabahamba ngaphandle noma nabavela ngaphandle.
Because he claimed that no one had voted for millions of unvetted migrants to come through their country.
Ngoba uthi akekho owakhetha ukuthi abantu bokuhamba baphuma ngaphandle baze bangene ezweni.
And this was one of the many half-truths that he said.
Yenye yengxenye ke yamaqiniso angaphelele aye wayisho noma ibe ngale ndlela thize.
Because while it's true that nobody had voted for that,
Ngoba noma bekuyiqiniso ukuthi akekho umuntu oyakuvotela lokho.
There weren't millions of unvetted migrants coming into any of their countries.
Babaningi abantu bokuhamba bebangena phakathi ezweni lelo.
He talked about pro-life protests in Scotland.
Wakhuluma ke ngezotoyitoyi ke laphayana noma ezokuphikisana kuleya ndawo.
Where basically only maybe a dozen people would turn up to protest.
La kuzovela abantu abaningi ke bazobhikisha.
And he basically he comes to this audience who wants to know how they can work with the USA against Russia.
Uvela ke nalabantu laba ke abazo ku-USA ke abaphambane nokuhambisana kweRussia.
And he tells them, your primary concern is not Russia.
Uyabatshela ukuthi into kumele ngabe babhekane nayo noma engamelanga bayibheke kuqala iRussia.
Russia is not a threat to you.
Ayinabungozi kunina ke iRussia.
The real threat comes from within.
Ingozi enkulu ke ingaphakathi kunina.
He accused them of not being democratic.
Ubasola ngokuthi ke abasiyama-democratic ngokuphelele.
And this was something really quite new.
Kuyinto entsha lena futhi kubona.
The Europeans who came to Munich knew that the US wanted to withdraw its security commitments in Europe.
Bebazi ke ukuthi ezokuphepha zifuna ukususwa ke lapha eEurope.
They were expecting to hear that.
Ilokho bebakulindele ukuzwa.
But what they got was something more darker.
Kodwa bakutholile yinto emnyama kakhulu.
There were some people that thought that Vance was just talking to his MAGA base back home.
Bayebasola ukuthi uVance ukhuluma nje nabaphuma kubo abakubo lekhaya.
That he was just leaving the foreign policy stuff to other other officials.
ukuthi bekayekelela nje amapholisa foreign kubanye ke abaphethe khona le.
But the general consensus was that this was very much planned.
Kodwa kuyavela ukuthi lokhu ke bekuhlelekile konke noma kuhleliwe.
And it was part of the US's effort to put Europe under a warning.
Kuhlelo ukuthi ke baxwayise ke Europe ke ngaloko kuzokwenzeka.
To say, don't take our support and alliance for granted.
Bathi ke ningathathi uxhaso lwethu ke nokuxhumana kwethu nani nikuthathe kancane.
You need to fall into line.
Kumele niqonde ke manje.
That the US's views on democracy are not what they once were.
Ukuthi ke indlela US bebheke ngayo democracy ayisafani namanje nendlela beyibuke ngayo kuqala.
And what the US is doing at home, it is now going to do at a world level.
Ukuthi lokhu bese kwenza ekhaya izokwenza mhlaba wonke jikelele futhi.
At home, it's taking money or defunding the National Endowment for Democracy.
Ikhipha imali ke kulaba bedemocracy kona lapha ekhaya kubona.
It's getting rid of all the US aid projects that funded democracy and human rights overseas.
Isusa ke imali noma ezomnotho kuma project ke bewaxhasa ke amalungelo abantu kanye nedemocracy ngokuhlangene jikelele.
And it's ensuring that government websites delete mentions of everything, that government websites delete stuff.
Iyenza ke isiqiniseko sokuthi ke laba ke abaphethe ke kubumongameli bakhipha izinto ezisemqoka ebalekile bayazisula.
Everything from diversity to climate change.
Kusukela ke ku-diversity kuya ku-climate change.
Again, the people there were stunned.
Abantu bebashaqekile kakhulu.
This is actually the first time an American speaker, official, has not received a standing ovation.
Kuvela kokuqala ke lana ukuthi ke abantu bangatholi abebakulindele kulokhulumayo.
And the result was that as soon as this conference finished,
Ebebasho ukuthi ke mayiqeda ke lo mhlangano noma le conference.
European leaders held an emergency meeting in Paris.
Abaholi base-Europe ke babamba umhlangano osheshayo ke lapha eParis.
So Vance's key message.
Umlayezo ke osemqoka kaVance.
One, he says internal threats are a bigger problem than external adversaries.
Uveza ke ukuthi ke ubungozi ke bungaphakathi kunokuthi babuke abantu abazongenelela basuka ngaphandle.
Your security problems come from within.
Inkinga zenu zokungavikeleki zisukela phakathi kunina.
Because you are eroding free speech.
Ngoba ke niphambana ke nenkululeko yokukhuluma.
You're not allowing far-right speakers to have a platform.
Anivumeli laba far right ukuthi babe nesihlalo noma babe nokuthi bakwazi ukukhuluma nabo.
Basically, they were stopping hate speech.
Bebezama ke ukuvimba ke inkulumo enenzondo phakathi.
He emphasized that Russia was not a threat.
Uye wagcizelela ukuthi iRussia ke bingayona ke ingozi.
And Russia is not a threat.
Nanokuthi ke iRussia ke akuyona ingozi futhi.
Is not a threat to the King of the North.
Ayisi ingozi kuyo ke inkosi yasenyakatho.
The King of the South died in 2024, and Russia is no longer a threat to the King of the North in 2025.
Inkosi yaseningizimu eyashona ke ngo-2024 siyabona futhi nokuthi iRussia ayiseyona ingozi ke ngo-2025.
Some good studies, really good studies, have been done by a member in Zambia.
Ifundo ezinhle kakhulu zezenziwa ke ilunga laseZambia
And repeated in a study by an Australian member last week.
kwenziwa futhi esinye isifundo ke ngelunga lase-Australia ke evikini elidlule.
These haven't been uploaded yet due to technical problems.
Azikafiki ke inkundleni zokuxhumana ngenxa yey'nkinga ezikhona.
But I do recommend them both.
Kodwa ngiyafisa ukuthi sizibuke.
But essentially what they're saying is that the King of the South's job description is to restrain the Seventh Kingdom.
Kodwa ke abakushoyo ke ukuthi umsebenzi wenkosi yaseningizimu ukuthi ibambe ke ukuthi noma ke inkosi yesikhombisa.
Gorbachev understood that in 1989.
Uye wakuzwisisa ke lona amshilo ke ngo-1999.
And Putin understood that in the beginning as well.
uPutin wakuzwisisa lokho naye ekuqaleni.
So the King of the South and the Sixth Kingdom, their roles are to restrain the Seventh Kingdom.
Masibuka ke inkosi yaseningizimu kanye ke nombuso ke wesithupha ke bazohlasela umbuso wesikhombisa.
But when the King of the South shifted its focus from the Seventh Kingdom to the Sixth Kingdom,
Kodwa masibona inkosi yasenyakatho isusa ke okubhekile ke kusuka kombuso wesithupha kuya kwesikhombisa.
when it focused its hatred on Clinton instead of Trump in 2016,
Mayithatha inzondo yayo ibhekisa kuClinton kunokuthi ibhekise kuTrump ke ngo-2016.
it failed in its role.
Yasihluleka ke esigabeni bekumele ngabe iyaphumelela kusona.
And ultimately put into power
Yase ke ibeka ke emandleni
the kingdom that will bring down Russia at the Worldwide Sunday Law.
umbuso ke ozowisa iRussia ke ngaSunday Law ezoba mhlaba wonke jikelele.
But the King of the South crossed the line with the death of Navalny.
Kodwa ke inkosi yaseningizimu ke yasiyeqa ke umugqa ukuthi ke ihlanganele nalona amshilo
And that was in 2024, Sunday Law.
ngo-2024 ke kuSunday Law.
And now in 2025, heading to the Worldwide Sunday Law,
Manje ngo-2025 masiya kuSunday Law ezoba mhlaba wonke jikelele.
it will be punished with the world by the Seventh Kingdom.
Izo ke ijeziswe ke nomhlaba wonke.
And Vance is telling the Europeans, Russia is not a threat.
Uvez uyabatshela base-Europe ukuthi iRussia ke ayinabungozi.
Because the King of the South is no longer a threat to the Seventh Kingdom.
Ngoba ke inkosi yaseningizimu ke ayisaseyingozi ke kumbuso wesikhombisa.
And the Seventh Kingdom doesn't really care what happens to the rest of the world.
Umbuso wesikhombisa kawunandaba ukuthi kwenzakalani emhlabeni wonke.
As long as it falls into line.
Into nje kodwa mayihambe emgqeni emele ihambe kuwona.
Vance tells the Europeans there's a new sheriff in town.
Uvence uyamtshela ke abase-Europe ukuthi khona ke omusha ofikile ke nalana.
So Vance also
Uvence naye
criticizes European policies.
Ugxeka ke amapolisi wase-Europe
That he says that these European countries are suppressing religious freedom.
uthi ke amazwe lase-European ke acindekela noma agxizela phansi ke unkululeko yabanye.
And the examples he uses are where in Britain,
Isibonelo asenzayo ukuthi lapha eBritain
they have put 200-meter buffer zones around abortion clinics.
babeke lokho sekushilo ke mawubheka ke kuma-abortion clinics
to protect women from being harassed going to those clinics.
ukuze kuvikeleke abesifazane ukuthi bangahlukumezeki uma baya ekliniki.
And so Vance says that they're stopping people from silent prayers outside abortion clinics.
Uthi ke uVance bavimba abantu ukuthi bangayenzi umthandazo othulile ke laphayana ke emakliniki ke ola kwenziwa khona i-abortion.
Quite a few half-truths that he says on that topic.
Uza ngamaqiniso angaphelele ke makakhuluma ngalokho.
Another part of his key message is his stance on migration.
Okunye okusemqoka kuvezayo ke indlela mengayo kulabo abangokuhamba ke ezweni.
He links mass migration to political instability.
Uxhumanisa ke nezopolitiko noma okungami kahle kwezopolitiko.
And talks about security concerns because of migration.
Ubese khuluma ke ngengozi yokuvikeleka ngenxa yalabo bokuhamba.
And brings up the stories of incidents, attacks by migrants on people.
Uletha ke amabali la ukuthi ke kwaba ke no kuhlaselwa ke kwabantu abaphuma ke ngaphandle.
And he makes a call for what he calls inclusive dialogue.
Uba nobizo ukuthi ke makube nengxoxo ehlanganisayo.
Because in parties that won't talk to far-right parties.
Ngoba ke ubheka ke laba abanye abangavumeli ukuthi laba baku-far right bakwazi ukuthi bakhulume ngokukhululeka.
He says all political parties should have engagement.
Uthi ke wonke amaphathi wopolitiki kumele akwazi ukuthi axhumane.
And what he's talking about here is Germany's firewall.
Akhuluma ngakho lana ke ukulwa ke kwase-Germany.
So if you're familiar with firewalls in technology,
Mangabe wajwayele ke ama-firewalls ke mawubuka ke technology.
say you're a private company.
Asithi mhlambe uyikampani ke ezimele.
You can have what's called a security firewall put around your network.
Ongaba ke nalokuvikeleka ke ozokubeka ke ku-network yakho.
So that you control what's coming in and what's going out through the internet.
Kuze uvikele okuphumayo nokungenayo okulethwa yi-internet.
You don't want confidential information going out from your company. You don't want scamming and, rubbish coming in.
Awufuni ke ukuthi baze bangenelele bathathe i-information yakho phakathi noma i-information ebalulekile iphume seyiya ngaphandle lena.
A firewall is basically a barrier.
I-firewall ke singabona nje ngokuvimba okukhona.
That sits between a private internal network.
Ihlala ke phakathi ke kwe-private internal network
and the public internet.
kanye ke ne-internet ke eyangaphandle.
You might have heard of the Great Firewall of China.
Mhlambe ngabe uzwile ke nge-firewall enkulu yase-China.
Because the Chinese Communist Party considers everything that's happening inside the country
Ngoba ke i-China ithi ibuka yonke into eyenzeka phakathi kwayo izwe layo
as private.
ibuka into ezenzakala ezweni layo njengezinto ezingasese.
And so it has a system that limits access to foreign websites.
Ya ngesweni system engavumeli ukuthi izinto ezingaphandle zikwazi ukungenelela kubona.
And it filters information coming into the country as well.
Iyabheka nanokuthi imiphi imininingwane noma ke information engenelela phakathi ezweni labo.
The German firewall, it's a metaphor.
I-German firewall lena ke ivela njenge-metaphor.
And what it is, it's not necessarily about the internet.
Ixhumana kuphela ke ne-internet.
But it's meant to shield the German democracy from harmful messages.
Kodwa ke liyenzela ukuthi ivikeleke i-democracy yase-Germany kwizinto ezinobungozi ezingangenelela.
They block or restrict foreign media outlets.
Bavimbela ke izinto ezingangena ke ku-media ke ezingaza zizohlukumeza okungaphakathi.
That are propaganda tools of Russia or China.
Amathuluzi akhona lapho we-propaganda angavela ke mhlawumbe eRussia noma eChina.
They monitor and limit foreign funding.
Base bayabuka bese bayenza ukuthi kube kuncane ke okungavelela ke kwamanye amazwe.
So of limit foreign money supporting political parties.
Bayavimbela ke imali yangaphandle ukuthi izokwazi ukuthi ixhase ke amaphathi akhona
And other organizations.
kanye nezinye inkundla ezikhona.
So say Russia or China wanted to put money to support a far-right political party.
Masithi ke eRussia noma eChina befuna ukufaka imali ke ukuthi izoxhasa laba ke abaku-far right ke bepolitiki.
And they have systems in place to protect their election systems.
Bane system ekhona ke kwazi ukuthi ivikele ke ukhetho lwabo malenzeka.
From foreign interference.
Ukuthi laba ngaphandle bangangeneleli kulona.
This is what's called the German firewall.
Into ebizwa ke ngokuthi i-German firewall lena.
And this is what J.D. Vance was criticizing.
Into ebexeka uJD Vance lena.
Why have the Germans put this in place?
Kungani ke ama-German abeka lokho kube khona?
Because they've learnt from history.
Ngoba bafundile emlandweni.
Back in the 1920s and 30s.
Amawubile emlandweni kubo 1920s nabo 1930s.
Mussolini and Hitler got into power.
Mussolini no Hitler baba namandla.
Because at a moment when they had relatively few votes.
Ngoba ngesikhathi ke banganamavoti amaningi.
They had a small percentage of the votes.
Baba ke namaphesenti amancane kakhulu amavoti bewakhona.
They were invited into government.
Bamenywa kodwa ukuthi bangene ke kubumongameli noma kuhulumeni.
In the case of Italy, Mussolini was put in charge by the king.
masibuka ke ngoMussolini ke masibuka ezweni lase-Italy ke wafakwa umongameli ke kuthina party noma afakwa inkosi.
In the case of Germany, Hitler was eventually put in power by Hindenburg, the German president.
eGermany ke umongameli wakhona ke wathatha uHitler umbeka ke emandleni.
Even though there were widespread fears about Hitler's intentions,
Bekhona ukusaba ke ukuthi ongumlungu yena uHitler.
they underestimated him.
Bamthatha kancane ke.
They knew of his extremism, but underestimated him.
Bebazi ukuthi ke uwenza izinto ayelele phambili kodwa ke base bamthatha kancane.
Because basically the mainstream parties thought that they could control them.
Ngoba labo bebaphethe ke phambili bebacabanga ukuthi bangakwazi ukuthi babalawule.
In both cases, the lesson that was drawn
Kukho konke okubili ke isifundo esesafundwa
is that what allows far rights, and in those cases, genuine fascists and Nazis to take power,
okuvumela ke labo bakufa right ke ngilabo ama-Chinese nama-Nazi ukuthi babe semandleni
is when mainstream parties, especially from the right,
ukuthi ke ama-party lawo mainstream kakhulu laba baku-right
decide to cooperate with them and give them space.
bathatha ke ixazo lokuthi basebenzisane nawo babaphe ithuba futhi.
Usually they're brought in because it's thought that they can be controlled.
Bangenelela ke ngoba bacabanga ukuthi bazolawulwa.
They thought Hitler would be a tool which they could control.
Bacabange ukuthi uHitler ke ithula bangalisebenzisa.
Now, Curtis Robertson has explained this in much greater detail.
uKevin Robertson ke wachaza ke kabanzi lokhu.
But this is the central lesson that political scientists drew from the 20s and 30s.
Isifundo esikhulu ke laba besayenza abasifunda ke ngabo-20s nangabo-30s.
Fascists got into power because mainstream conservatives enabled them.
Abafascist laba bangena emandleni ke ngoba ke bavunyelwa noma baphiwa amandla lawo.
Trump gets into power because the Republican Party allowed him to.
uTrump ke ubesemandleni naye ngoba ke iRepublican Party imvumele ukuthi angene.
Senators didn't vote to impeach him after January 6.
Laba sesenate azange bavote ukuthi ke bamkhiphe esihlalweni ke.
So the German firewall is a deliberate attempt to prevent history from repeating.
Lokhu ke kwa-German firewall ke kusemqoka ukuthi kuvikele ukuthi umlando uziphindaphinde futhi.
February 14 is 9 days out from the German national elections.
uFebruary 14 sibona ke amalanga awu-9 esedlulile ke ukuze kube nokhetho ke ngale Germany.
Vance gives this speech and then leaves the conference.
uVance ke ukhuluma le nkulumo lena bese ke yasuka ke ku-conference lapho.
To go and meet one of the leaders of the ADF.
ukuthi ahamba uhlangana nabanye baholi be-ADF.
The Alternative to Germany Party.
Okungaba khona okunga-replace ke i-German Party.
Which is a far right-wing party that wasn't invited to the Munich Security Council.
Ubonakaliswa njenge-far right-wing party engazange imenywe ke ukuthi izoba sengxoxweni lena.
JD Vance's meeting with this leader
JD Vance ukuthi axhumane ke nalo mholi.
It broke established international and diplomatic norms.
Yase yenza ke ukuphazamiseka kwinjwayelo ehlala yenzeka.
it signaled support for a party that was excluded from government due to its extreme views.
Yaveza uxhaso ke lwephathi bengaxhumene ke nabo ngenxa imibono engafani.
This really broke with not just tradition, but international norms.
Lokhu ke azange kuphule kuphela ke ukwenza kodwa waphula nje nenjwayelo izinto.
Some called it election interference.
Abanye bayibiza ke ukungenelela ke kokhetho.
And there was strong backlash from German officials.
Kwase ke kuba nokuyiphindiselela ke kulabo abaphethe Germany.
What JD Vance was signaling
JD Vance ebeyiveza
is that the US now makes and breaks the rules.
ukuthi US ke yenza bese iphula imithetho futhi.
JD Vance says there's a new sheriff in town.
JD Vance uthi ke khona usheriff omusha ke na ekhona.
The other thing that he was criticizing was the elections held in Romania.
Enye into ebekayigxeka ke ukhetho bolenzeka eRomania.
In Romania, there was a completely unknown candidate who was powered by TikTok and Russian money.
Bekhona ke ozovela ukuthi akhethwe naye ke ovela TikTok ke obeka nemali eningi.
And in the first round of the elections, they shot to the head. They were taking the lead.
Basibona ke ukuthi maqala ke bebahambela phambili ke kuyibo ke ababonakalayo bevela.
And so there was a completely legitimate and lawful cancellation of that election.
Bekhona ke ikhansele lawa bakhansela ke ukhetho lo.
It went through the courts and it followed established laws.
Yahamba ke ngamakhosi ke yahambisana nomthetho ke wakhala ngokwenza kwezinto nanokuthi kube nenkulumo yenzondo ke vele inkundleni zokuxhumana.
So there were a lot of things he complained about.
Ziningi izinto ke ayabubula ngazo.
And there were a lot of half-truths in that speech.
Bekunamaqiniso angaphelele ke kuleyo nkulumo yakhe.
There was a Good Guardian article that fact-checked a lot of his statements.
Bekubukwa ke indlela asho ngayo izinto noma kwenzeka ngayo.
So Vance's speech got massive coverage around the world.
Kwabonakala ke ukuthi inkulumo ke kaVance ke yongamela okuningi ke obekuvezwa ngaleso sikhathi.
There's never been a vice president who's made the huge impact that he did.
Azange kube nesekela likamongameli elenza okukhulu njengaye njengoba ayenza yena.
And as I said earlier, he's the only American speaker in history of the Munich Security Council to not receive a standing ovation.
Uyena ke wasemiko oqala ongazange ke athole ke isihlalo njengabanye.
Interestingly, though, another speaker that day did.
Ngokusemqoka ke omunye ke wabakhulumi ke oyawavela eqavile.
And that was Yulia Navalny.
Yulia Navalny.
Who also spoke that day.
Omunye wakhuluma naye ngalelo langa.
So I just thought I'd like to show you, I might see if I can share screen.
Ngifuna ukubonisa kona ngifuna ukuthi ngashare screen.
share screen some, just some article headings to give you more of an idea of the impact of that speech.
Ngifuna nje ukunibonisa ke ihloko ezaba khona lapho engizonibonisa ukuthi inkulumo enenzondo phakathi le yavela kanjani.
So this is from Foreign Policy magazine.
Sibona lena evela kwimagazini ye Foreign Policy.
The new meaning of Munich. After J.D. Vance's bizarre speech, a word synonymous with appeasement may now signal the voluntary surrender of global hegemony.
Ngemva kwenkulumo ke lena kaVance ke kwavesa ukuhambisana ke okunala ke ukukhuluma noma ukwenza nje okwehla nje ku global hegemony.
I'll just make this larger, might
Okay.
that might help. Okay, hegemony just means leadership or dominance.
Hegemony isho ukuthi ukuhola noma ukuphatha.
So the suggestion here is that the world is surrendering global dominance.
Kubonakalisa ukuthi lokhu kuphatha ke komhlaba wonke noma ke baphezulu.
This is from the National Security. It says the superpower has left the building, Munich 2025.
Lokuvela ke kwi-security ke nkulu kuveza ukuthi ke amandla amakhulu aye wasuka ke kuleyo building ke eMunich 2025.
And the picture of Donald Trump as Uncle Sam leaving the room with the European leaders left watching him.
Kunesithombe ke Donald Trump njengo Uncle Sam ke evela ke ephuma ke egumbini lelo lomhlangano.
The Foreign Policy gives the transcript of Vance's speech.
I-Foreign Policy kilethi inkulumo ke kaVance.
The speech that stunned Europe.
Ispeech ke noma inkulumo le yathusa ke base-Europe.
European leaders are reeling from a weekend of high-level diplomacy that has laid bare just how dramatically the second Trump administration is overhauling transatlantic relations.
Abaholi ke base-Europe ke bamangala ke ngaleyo mpelasonto okwakwenzeka ukuthi ongena kwesibili kwaka-Trump ke embusweni kwaba ney'nselelo ezinjani ke emhlabeni wonke.
Democratic Erosion Consortium, their heading is Redefining the West, how J.D. Vance's speech in Munich became a turning point in transatlantic politics.
Bese kuvele esinye isihloko ke ukuthi kuvezwa ke West ngendlela ehlukile lana kuvezwa ke inkulumo ka J.D. Vance ke lapho ke eshintsha ukwenza ke masibuka kwezopolitiki.
This one, J.D. Vance's speech at the Munich Security Conference should be seen as a clarification of Donald Trump's vision.
Inkulumo ke lena ka J.D. Vance ke laphayana ku Munich Security Conference mele ibukwe ke njengoncazelo enhle yembono ka Donald Trump.
And this is exactly what we would expect J.D. Vance to do.
Into esingayilindela ku J.D. Vance noma ukuthi ayenze lena.
As heir to the movement.
Njengoba ke sibuka ke ekhona ku movement.
Oops, I'm just trying to, here we go. This is from The Guardian. J.D. Vance's Munich speech laid bare the collapse of the transatlantic alliance.
Sibona ke lena ivela ku-Guardian ke siyabona ukuthi J.D. Vance ke inkulumo le yakhe ke yavela ke ukuwa kwe-alliance ke ye-transatlantic.
And this article is very interesting from the New York Times.
Masibuka i-New York Times ke kunesihloko lesi esibalulekile.
It's an opinion article
Kuwumbono ke
called Vance's Munich Disgrace.
ebizwa ke ngoVance's Munich Disgrace.
But in it, the writer is going to compare the relationship between Trump and Vance
Uzoveza ke ubudlelwane ke phakathi kwaTrump noVance, umbhali,
with the relationship between Hitler and Goebbels.
eqhathanisa ubudlelwane phakathi kwaHitler noGoebbels.
Goebbels was Hitler's, I guess, main propagandist.
uGoebbels ke bekangahambisani ke noHitler noma bekamlethela propaganda.
And just last one from Politico, Vance brings a wrecking ball to diplomatic gathering in Munich.
Masibuka lana ke Politico sibona uVance ke eletha ke ibhola ke elizowisa ke diplomatic ukuhlangana kwayo ke kwiMunich.
The US vice president roasted the continent's way of governing itself.
Can you just repeat that? I just lost it because of my network. I'm sorry.
Just this
Yes.
bit here. The US vice president roasted the continent's way of governing itself.
Okay. Isekela lomongameli ke lase-US ke lase ke lenza indlela yokuthi ke izwe leli lizongamele lona ngokwalo.
So one of the journalists that was at the Munich Security Conference
Omunye ke wama-journalist ke bavela ke ku-conference lena ye-Munich.
is Christiana Amanpour.
Simbona enguChristiano Amanpour.
She's a British Iranian journalist
Ongase-British ke oyi-journalist yakhona.
and chief international anchor for CNN.
Uyena ke futhi onokuphatha okukhona ke ku-CNN.
In her words, she said, Vice President Vance came and laid out the new Trump world order.
Uthi ke ngamazwi wakhe uye weza ke waveza ukuthi ukwenza ukusha kaTrump emhlabeni jikelele kukanjani.
And what he did was basically tell the allies of 80 years, 75 years,
Uye watshela ke laba abaxhumanayo nabo ke ngo-80 years, 75 years,
that it's different now.
ukuthi kuhlukile manje.
Overnight, you have to decide how to defend yourselves.
Ukuthi sekumele unqume ke ukuthi uzozivikela kanjani.
You have to figure out how to cope with us and our protectionism.
Kumele ubone ukuthi ke uzophilisana kanjani nathi nanokuthi ke ukuvikeleka uzokuthola kanjani ke.
Later on, she was asked to pick the one person you think is important to US foreign policy.
Bekathi ke khetha umuntu ocabanga ukuthi ubalekile ke lapha ku-US.
And she said, J.D. Vance.
Kwazi ke kuthiwa ke uJD Vance.
He's the one who came to Europe
Uye oweza eEurope
80 years after VE Day.
Eminyaka ewu-80 after i-VA Day.
So it was the 80th year anniversary of the victory in Europe.
Bekuke umnyaka we-80 ke sekube nokunqoba ke eEurope.
Which is the official end to World War II.
Ke kwaphela ke ngokusemthethweni ke iWorld War II.
She said 80 years into this phenomenal alliance.
Uthi 80 years ukuthi ke kuvele ke lokhu kuxhumana ukukhona.
Which paid dividends or benefited everyone who were members of it.
Oke kwaxhasa ke wonke umuntu bekayilungu lakhona.
Vance came to Europe and basically turned it on its head.
uVance uyafika eEurope ke wayijikisa wayibhekisa phansi ngekhanda.
And he did that in one speech.
Wakwenza lokho ke ngenkulumo eyodwa.
And she tells how in that room, the German defense minister
Uyakhuluma ke ukuthi lelo lizwe ke uminister we-defense laphayana eGermany
He shouted and heckled from the back.
wakhala ke bangaza ke khala ngasemuva lena
Because they remembered what Germany had gone through.
ngoba uyakhumbula ukuthi iGermany yadlula kwini
And that this 80-year alliance was built to make sure that that terror in Germany would never happen again.
ngokuthi ke ukuxhumana lokwa 8 years ke bekwenziwe ukuthi kungabi ke nokuhlukumezeka futhi ke eGermany.
He stated from the back of the room, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable.
Washo ke emuva babazi ukuthi akuvumelekile lokho akuvumelekile lokho.
So in closing, I just want to just bring my okay, am I sharing screen? No. Okay. So we're just closing now.
Siyavala manje ke.
And I just remind us of our line.
Ngizokhumbula ke iline yethu
And how we mark 2021
nokuthi siveza kanjani
national-
2020
to the National Sunday Law
kuze kuyovela kuSunday Law
as the rise of the Seventh Kingdom
njengokuphakama ke kombuso wesikhombisa
and the fall of the Sixth,
nokuwa kwesithupha
but also the death of the King of the South.
kanye nokufa ke wenkosi yaseningizimu.
As we can see from this Munich Security Conference,
Njengoba sibuka ke Munich Communist Conference
the seventh is continuing to rise.
umbuso wesikhombisa uyaqhubeka uyakhula
It is agitating the world.
uveza ke ukushukumiseka emhlabeni wonke
As it determines to bring the world into line under this new sheriff.
ufuna ukuqondisa umhlaba ke ngokuhambisana kwawo.
And what we see now is the death of Russia and the death of the fall of the world and the fall of Russia with it.
Simbona ke Russia iwa kanye nomhlaba
As we head to the worldwide Sunday Law.
njoba siya ke kuSunday Law yomhlaba wonke.
So what I'd like us to consider is that this speech in February of 2025
Engithanda ukuthi sikubone ukuthi le nkulumo ngoFebruary 2025
we can look back from that speech and it gives us more information about what the RNC was about.
siyabona ukuthi ke isichazela kabanzi ukuthi bingani kahle kahle.
It helps us to look back on July 15 to 18.
Esisiza ukuthi sibheke sibuyele emuva kuJuly 15 kuya ku18
And the rise of MAGA
kanye nokukhula kaMega
given in the party platform and embodied in JD Vance.
ukuthi kuvela kanjani ku-party platform naku-JD Vance.
And now from that date, we can also look forward to the worldwide Sunday Law.
Singabukela phambili ku-World War I kuSunday kuye kufikele kuSunday Law.
As we see MAGA policies taken to the world.
Njoba sibona ke amapolisi kaMega ke ayiswa ke emhlabeni.
And the world shaken with that speech.
Bese umhlaba uyazamazameka ngenxa yaleyo nkulumo.
That meeting with the theme of multipolarization
Kodwa lo mhlangano ke ne-multipolarization
was swept away with a unilateral speech.
washanelwa ke inkulumonyana nje encane.
So on that note, we'll close in prayer and then maybe there's time for some questions or comments.
Sizovala ngomthandazo ke bese kuba ke nembuzo ke kanye nokufakaza.
If you kneel with me.
Masanguqala isithandazo.
Our loving God in heaven, we thank you for this time we're able to spend together.
Dalo muhle sezulwini siyabonga lesikhathi ukuthi sibe sonke.
This precious Sabbath hours that you've blessed us with.
Mahora lawa amahle wesabathu uyasibusisa ngawo.
Help us to think on these things, to bring all the power of our intellect to understand these things.
Ola kwesiza ukuthi imqondo yethu ke igxile kuzo zonke lezinto.
To sift away what is mud and to see what is relevant for us today.
Ukuthi sisuse ukudaka ke bese sibona ke okuqondile okuyikona ngalesikhathi.
I pray for the South African ministry, for its leaders and its members.
Sikhulekela ke South Africa kanye nabo bonke abakhona.
And for the movement at large.
Kanye ne-movement nokuphelela kwayo.
And ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Cela lokho ngoJesu siyakhuleka. Amen.
So I've been asked for a title of the study, so I'll have to think about that.
Ngiyengabuzwa